is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Get real.
No. Nope.
This is
stop.
a sham.
It's finally here. Drum roll.
Welcome to DBL. Happy Friday. Sam Shaka in the hell.
How you never like fully pronunciate all of house. I love it.
That's how we do it.
Yeah.
That's how we do it on Friday.
I like
and it gets pumped up with Erica.
Yeah.
Sharp and red.
That's right.
I haven't seen you today, and you just like popped into my eye.
Thanks.
You know what this is? That's that 80s red when they would introduce on the in the movie like who's supposed to be like the love interest, and they would always have like that kind of red on. That's like very like. And then she walked in, Veronica Banks, and it was always like that color.
Yes, it was.
Is it Michael Jackson music video? The woman with the Jerry curl.
Oh, really?
Diana?
Baby, with the high heels on.
Yeah, what's it?
Or is it?
Was that the wrong
Dirty
one?
Diana?
Yeah, the way you make me feel.
Oh yeah, that was it.
That was it. I nailed it.
You did. Good job, Jeff. You did.
And then they walk backwards and they walk at each other.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm very proud of myself.
There we go.
Good job.
Good job. Thank you.
Thank you, Harper.
Me too. Welcome to DBL. The wait is over. Taylor Swift released her version. Taylor Swift lips would look good on that shirt, by the way. Of the very successful 1989 album, Al. It includes her original 16 tracks, plus 5 more from the vault. Taylor has also reportedly entered her billionaire era. Largely due to her Eras tour, she is also one of the few entertainers to reach billionaire status just on her music and performances alone. That's impressive.
Yes.
And check this out. An artist in Ohio unveiled her 399-pound pumpkin she painted to look like Taylor. It even included a nod to Travis Kelce with a football-shaped pumpkin. Wow, let me see that. With the number 87 on it. That's really great. That's a pumpkin?
You're focusing on the bucket 87, not the incredible artistry on the pumpkin.
It was a
They wrote that in the prompter with the number 87 on it.
On the bucket, the trick-or-treat bucket.
I took the bucket part out. I just wanted to see the pumpkin.
Okay,
that was impressive.
I know why she's a billionaire. I went to see the Taylor Swift Eras Tour concert now movie last night. Every young girl and boy under the sun, I have Sophie and her friends, they scream, they dance, they will do anything for Taylor Swift. So there's Sophie and her friends.
Oh my God.
Yep, all decked out in Taylor Swift clothes.
That is our girl. She is too cool. She is too cool.
But I'm telling you, and I never really called myself a Swiftie. I've always had great respect for Taylor and her artistry and her work ethic. But I am now officially
I wonder if Taylor
Swiftie.
is going to become like the Dead for Sophie's generation, where they just follow, like, because she'll be probably gone at that point when Sophie's, in the late 20s. But like, they're just kind of
gone,
like not touring as much.
Okay.
She'll be older, but there'll be iterations of her, and people just go see her music because it's more of an event and more of like something you travel to go see with the community more than even. It seems like the music has overtaken this more like a community, like a culture.
I feel like she would be more, and she might be even bigger than that, but like a Billy Joel type singer, selling out just gigantic arenas and just having fans till the day she dies. You know,
I mean,
Billy Joel's like that.
I mean, he has been for 50 years.
Having a
That's a great
residency
call.
in Vegas, I see that. And I think she'll continue to evolve, and I think her fans will continue to grow with her.
She could be one of the first artists to have a residency in Vegas at like Allegiant. Like
I never even thought of that.
Because what venue, although, I mean, you think about like Adele and, they're all very successful artists. There's just a mania around Taylor that is different than some of the other artists who are amazing, but their demo doesn't lean to that like, mania type of personality where you have to get every single thing. And I think a big part of the reason why Taylor's like that is because people feel like each era of her music represents an era in their life.
Yeah. That's how I feel about Jay-Z.
Yeah, I mean, I feel that way about Beyonce, but I really resonate the most. I was an adult. So it's a little different. It was like the breakup, we talked about to the left, like those things I really resonate with.
want to blow the Swifties' minds right now. Could you imagine like a residency at that Sphere with a Taylor Swift spin on it?
Unbelievable.
Like, just because she already puts on a crazy show.
I think it'll happen.
But that's such a small venue that you're going to have to charge super expensive.
I was going to say, maybe
not big enough.
Hey, you jack that ticket price up, you can make anything.
But I'm saying
what wouldn't people pay? What do you think those tickets would go for?
$5 grand a piece.
Easy.
Yeah,
I was thinking higher than that. Not Billy Joel, but who was Bruce Springsteen was charging 10, right?
He was charging an enormous amount.
Usher, and I was looking at tickets that were like $2,500. I'm like, okay. I mean, I might still.
Before we move on, can I tell you really quickly? The theater, the girls were all dressed up, decked out. There was a lot of teen boys in there in Travis Kelce jerseys. I thought that was cute. No?
Do you think they really like? Taylor's great. Do you think they really like her, or you think it's just the phenomenon of the culture, like, oh, I'm kind of popular if I like Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce? Do you know what I'm saying?
I think Sophie's a pretty good social experiment of that.
Right.
Because I see what you're saying, because we started playing age-appropriate songs for Sophie, which was Taylor Swift and JoJo Siwa, years ago, before she knew what was cool or her peers liked them. So I think they resonate really well with young girls and boys because it's just innocence and boppy, and it just works. So I think,
but then why does it work on 58-year-olds?
I like it too now. I think
59-year-olds.
I love you. We're going to leave it there. We're going to leave it there. A nice little Friday. All right. It was an emotional night on the Golden Bachelor. Speaking of Golden Bachelor, Sam, Gary took a few of his remaining 6 women on a group date to the Santa Monica Pier for some fun and games. That brings back some memories, huh? But in the end, he said goodbye to 3 women, including fan favorite Ellen. Gary said her elimination was the toughest of all, but Ellen was in good spirits in the car ride home. Let's watch.
It was really a shock, truthfully. I wasn't expecting it. I was falling in love with him. I just thought he was the one, so it's a little upsetting. But this experience has been one of the best experiences of my life. I have a lot more optimism about love and the possibility of finding love at this stage in my life.
I appreciate a good loser.
Man.
Yeah, well, she's not a loser. So
she didn't win?
Yeah, yeah, I think everybody on this show wins because, much to the point of what Ellen was saying in this clip, that it gave her a new optimism and a new idea that after it's been 7-8 years for her since she's been in a relationship, that she could find love, that reignited something for her. Now, I will say, I noticed something about watching this week's episode that I appreciate more on the Golden Bachelor than the other Bachelor. And that's when they're doing these like trips or dates of a lifetime. These women are like, oh, you know, I've never had anything like this happen before. And it's very different to say that when you're in your 60s, 70s, 80s, where it's like you get picked up in a helicopter and the helicopter lands on a yacht and then you have lunch in a hot tub in the yacht at 25. You think that's going to be the rest of your life. It's really setting you up for a whole lot of disappointment.
True.
So I noticed that about watching this episode, but it was hard. They only did 3 hometown dates. There were only 3 roses this week. And it's sad, but it's not, because I feel like all of these women are going to have their eyes open. Other people are going to see them. They're going to find someone.
But to Erica's point, the juxtaposition of the Bachelor that we're used to, where a lot of them have that victim mentality, they get in the limo, they start crying, they start bashing people. You really see how classy these women are. And what is that old adage that age is like a fine wine you get, as someone who's 59 years old, right? Age is like a fine wine. You get better as you age. I don't think that's how you say it, but my point is to see the class and the grace of some of these women.
I mean, Sammy, directly to your point, what I took from her reaction in that limo is what you hope to have as you get older.
Yes.
And Jeff, you've talked about it a lot, like working through your anger management. Erica, we've all been in therapy. I feel like you've achieved something when you can implement the things that you've worked through in real time. Yeah. To not have that meltdown at 25. To just be able to, in real time, be like, I'm disappointed in this, but I'm able to see the future. And it's much easier said than done because in the moment you're very emotional. But when you're able to understand that this is something you're going through now and something that you will get through, I feel like that's when you've really matured. So I was really impressed by just the way she handled that in real time and not even needing a day to say, I apologize for my comments. I shouldn't have said that about the other, which would have been perfectly understandable too. But when you understand in the moment, that's a big deal.
And trust me, from someone who's lost many of reality shows, I had my graceful exits and my very much not so grateful exits. I still have a tank top at home that I can't wear, but I can't throw it away, and I get mad every time I look at it because I got evicted on that tank top, and I'm like, I don't know what to do with it.
You should put it behind glass like a jersey.
No, but I can't hate it.
The tank top that you in the kitchen pushed up so everyone saw your abs?
It might have been, there was many. There was many tank tops. Coming up on DBL, Cher is not a fan of her own voice or my tank tops, and Rihanna's plotting a music comeback. Erica is going to explain in her segment what Erica's watching next.
Yeah.
He said Biden hears with his eyes.
I could not stop laughing.
It was so great.
Frank Caliendo, comedian and impressionist Frank Caliendo,
Go to our YouTube,
was here yesterday, and we're doing a recap of all the hilarious moments because our faces, I know my face just started coming down from cramping. I was cracking up.
Too, Erica.
He is so talented.
And I see right now, because I'm on our Daily Bus Live YouTube, it looks like we did post some Frank Caliendo stuff. So go to our YouTube, you're probably already on it, and click Frank. That's a good friend of Al's.
Yeah, so I was supposed to hang out with Frank last night.
Well, what happened?
Well, I went down to the comedy club, and he was at the Denver South Club.
He went to the wrong location.
Yeah, so I walked in the green room, and there were some comics in there that did not look like they'd be on the show with Frank. So we're just all standing in there, and I took Sarah, my girl. So the six of us are just in this green room, and I was like, maybe
he's the one by where I live.
Yes.
He went to that one.
Right, he was at the Denver.
Me too.
But you know, when you live downtown, you just assume comedy works downtown. And so that was, I should have checked. He never said South, but so we're doing a show December 6th. I'll be at the right club.
We gotta see. Yeah.
Yes, me and Frank will do a show December 6th.
Oh my God! I was just gonna say we should go.
It's a Wednesday night.
That little area that we're talking about, like it'd be so beautiful, like with the snow, and then we could like do a little dinner and hop over to comedy.
There's great food around there.
Start planning that.
Yes.
Okay, just us though.
Yeah, DBL Nation will be there.
Here's where we will be. Jeff's car can be easily identified by the following. Neither do I.
We're gonna pack the house.
Tori
Al's
has
performing.
silver duct tape all over her car. That's how you can spot her.
Does she really? Oh.
Welcome back. Riri and the Champagne Poppy are celebrating. And what's Halle Berry been up to after she was slimed out? Find out in this week's What Erica's Watching. First, Halle Berry was not happy when Drake released artwork for his song Slime You Out with SZA, featuring image of her covered in slime from the 2012 Nickelodeon Choice Awards. But Halle quickly moved on and was, quote, the bigger man, yet a woman. And she's back to what she's best known for. The Oscar winner is set to star in and produce a new psychological thriller for the big screen called The Process. Who's got time to get caught up in slime when you're Halle Berry? Next, well, since the Drake and Halle Berry beef, Drizzy turned 37, and in true Champagne Poppy style, Drake threw an epic birthday party with two special guest bartenders, actors Bryan Cranston and Aaron Paul, stars from Breaking Bad, the popular series about two unassuming drug dealers. Yeah, if I showed up at a party and the cast of Breaking Bad was behind the bar, I'm not sure if I trust those drinks, you know what I'm saying? And finally, as we get ready for the next halftime Super Bowl show, Usher, Riri's baby bumping performance is still making her story. Her first live performance in more than 5 years attracted a record 101 million viewers and is the most watched of all time. But here's the word on the street that she registered a new song called Private Loving and is said to be sitting on 2 albums worth of material and has signed a multi-million-dollar deal for a world tour that's set to launch next year. So start saving your money, folks. Do not say I didn't warn you. Share with me anything that catches your eye by using the hashtag DBLEricaWatch. We'll be right back.
Many people with naturally curly, coily, or wavy hair use chemical hair straightening products to smooth their strands. One of the chemicals often found in many of those products is formaldehyde, a colorless, strong-smelling gas labeled by the FDA as a human carcinogen. For more than a decade, salon workers and hair care professionals have been asking the FDA to consider banning chemical straighteners that contain formaldehyde, saying they pose health risks to users. In March, U.S. Representatives Ayanna Pressley and Chantel Brown wrote a joint letter to the FDA, urging the agency to investigate the health risks of chemical hair straighteners. And recently, some social media users have claimed the FDA has plans to ban some hair chemical straightening and smoothing products. But is that true? Let's verify using these sources. Short answer is yes. In early October, the FDA proposed a rule that would ban some hair straightening and smoothing products. The rule targets products that contain formaldehyde and other formaldehyde-releasing chemicals. Here's why. According to the FDA, the process of stealing the product into the hair with heat releases formaldehyde into the air, potentially posing health risks like breathing problems and increased cancer risk for salon professionals and their clients if the salon is not properly ventilated. In their letter, Pressley and Brown said chemical straighteners are often marketed toward Black women, citing a study that showed harmful chemicals were found in about 50% of products advertised to Black women, as opposed to just 7% of those marketed to others. On October 6th, Pressley and Brown called the FDA's proposal ban a win for public health. But the rule hasn't been approved yet. That's going to take some time. With your Verify, I'm Ariane Till.
Same time.
Yeah.
Welcome back. That Cher's hit, of course, If I Could Turn Back Time. Sam, Tori's not here. You want to give it a little run for money?
That was my first cassette tape. If I could turn back time.
Yeah. You got there. You got there. That was pretty good.
Limerick right at the end, but the first part was really good.
At first, I was like, wait, she's not going where I want her to go. And then you turned it. You turned it on me. Good job.
Good. Okay.
We're going to keep that audition. All right. But now the singer is admitting she isn't a fan of her voice. She told Paper Magazine she thinks her voice is weird. She said it doesn't sound like a man, it doesn't sound like a woman, it's somewhere in between. Cher also said she wasn't happy with some of her other biggest hits. I think that's what makes her unique. Yeah. You know, so I think that's what a lot of people think. Maybe she might not, but she's a hit.
But I think the fact that she hates her voice and she doesn't like her most popular stuff makes her very similar to most entertainers.
Yes.
Most artists that are disgusted with what they've done, even though it's like, you're like, that's my favorite thing ever. It's what drives them and it makes no sense. And I think once they started to like their material, they probably quit. It's a strange thing with art.
What, we got nothing?
Yeah, do you guys not feel the same way?
I do. I have nothing to add to it. I did my Cher impression. I told you that was my first cassette tape along with PM Dawn. I have nothing more to add.
Okay. Well, that's good for a talk show.
All right, we got another one here. Goldie Hawn claims she had a close encounter with an alien. Sam's got a lot to say on this. On an Apple Fitness podcast, Goldie said she saw the aliens when she was in her early 20s while napping in her car, or her friend's car, I'm sorry. She claims she saw 3 silver triangular-shaped heads with a tiny little nose, no ears, and a slash for a mouth. She says she was unable to move, but the aliens touched her and it felt like the finger of God.
Okay. I have so many follow-up questions.
Okay.
Where were you going with this, Sam?
Well, was psychedelics involved?
Yes.
Was there another person there? Like, person.
Yeah.
But I did have a really weird dream when I was younger where I got frozen. I guess there is a time in your REM where you do get paralysis. And I woke up mid-sleep paralysis and I was frozen. And I do remember a long bony finger in my back. But it could have been like something else. But hold on.
What else could it be?
It could have been maybe my back muscles coming from the
But how'd you see the finger?
I felt like it was a long bony finger. I didn't know it was sleep paralysis, and I too thought that aliens had visited me at like 9 years old and poked me.
They flew all the way down here, poked you, and went back to their galaxy.
I was 9. I didn't know any better. I did not know. You've seen fire in the sky? It can happen.
Yeah, it's a nice, timely reference.
I think things happen. I would question the part about taking a nap in a friend's vehicle. That indicates to me that something went down before that.
Yes.
That could have contributed to a meeting with aliens.
That's an intelligent answer.
Absolutely.
Yes.
But I will say this, so don't give me too much credit, because the night before our first promo shoot in Burbank, remember back in 2017,
when we were auditioning.
After we had already gotten the job, we were doing the promo shoot in Burbank, and they put me in this hotel that was like, first I went to a room, it was like a murder room. I came in, it looked like something from Scandal. It was a glass of red wine, a drill, and then the bed was just peeled back, right?
There was a drill in there?
There was literally a drill.
Anything
with
attached to the drill?
Wine and just the one little thing pulled back. So I backed out of the room and went back to the front desk and asked for another room. In the middle of the night, I experienced sleep paralysis.
It's horrific.
And someone was getting in bed with me, and I could not move. But then finally, I was like so freaked out, and I was just like praying, like in my mind, just praying, like, Lord, whoever was murdered in this murder hotel, please just tell them to like go peacefully. And finally, after like, and it went on for a while, it was the most terrifying thing ever, but that's what happened. That's the reason why I never.
But no one was in bed next to you. When you're in sleep paralysis, you have paranoia.
They were getting in bed with me, like
in
I
your
could
mind.
feel it.
Who's
I
they?
could feel it. It was like some type of presence. It got in bed with me. I swear. I swear, and that's why I've never allowed the show to ever book another hotel for me. I book my own hotels. Y'all ain't putting me in another murder hotel.
I want to stay in the murder.
My buddies I grew up with, like very Italian, I always tell you that, they used to all get experience, like the whole family, all the Italian guys in the family would experience this thing, they called it mamon. And it was a black figure that would hold you down while you slept, but it's sleep paralysis. But like growing up, I'm like, dude, what are you talking about? And they're all like, dude, I had the mamon yesterday. I'm like, dude, what are you talking about? I'm like, what do you mean the mamon? And they're like, it happened to me yesterday. So it happened. I'm like, oh my God, I don't want to see the mamon. I never did, but everyone who's 100% Italian got visited by the mamon.
Well, I sleep with an Italian. Maybe he brought it on.
Maybe he left it there or something. We'll be right back.
Whether your pumpkins were spooky or sweet, it will soon be time to throw them away. But can you safely discard them in the yard or compost them without hurting wildlife? Let's verify. Our sources, Morgan Raphael, Executive Director of Carolina Wildlife Conservation Center and the National Wildlife Federation. With so many pumpkins heading straight to the landfill every year, Raphael says it's better for the environment to recycle them instead.
So you can make bird feeders out of them by cutting a hole and putting seed in the bottom. You can compost them. You can plant them yourself.
What about the wildlife? Are slightly worn pumpkins safe for them to consume?
Pumpkin seeds are actually a natural dewormer for animals, so it's totally fine for them to be eating them.
However, there are some things to be mindful of before you throw out your pumpkins into the wild.
So first of all, you need to make sure that they're not painted with clear paint or spray paint, because that's toxic to animals. And then next, you need to make sure that they're nice and smashed into pieces.
The National Wildlife Federation also says make sure to break up your jack-o'-lanterns, because otherwise animals can get their heads stuck in the hole you make at the top. So we can verify that, yes, you can safely discard pumpkins in the yard or compost without hurting wildlife as long as they are not painted, and just make sure you smash them first. With your Verify, I'm Megan Bragg.
There's often the conversation about red flag laws, which aim to take firearms away from people who might pose a risk to themselves or others. In fact, social media users are already talking about it. So does Maine have a red flag law? We turn to Maine's state code and attorney general's office to verify no. Instead, it's a yellow flag or yellow paper law. It's a process with more steps than the more assertive red flag laws in some states. That means they do have extreme risk protection orders, which can be used for law enforcement officers to remove firearms from the possession of people at risk of using guns to harm themselves or others. But in Maine, it goes into effect, quote, when a law enforcement officer has taken a person into protective custody. So it requires someone to have had a run-in with the law. Then, a medical practitioner must, quote, assess whether the person presents a likelihood of foreseeable harm. And that is a hindrance, according to Maine's Deadly Force Review Panel 2022 report, which pushes for more resources and education around the law. How about red flag laws in D.C., Maryland, or Virginia? Everywhere in the DMV is covered by a law allowing for an extreme risk protection order when there's concern over how someone might use a gun. We have detailed information about local red flag laws on our website right now. With your Verify, I'm Abby Larico.
Welcome back. As we know, it's never too late to start getting your car's maintenance in order. That's today's Auto Alert, sponsored by Ox Car Care. First up, your spare tire is just as important as your other tires. Make sure to keep it filled and avoid the stress of discovering it's flat when you go to use it. Woof. Next, keep your battery clean. Wiping down your battery can ensure it continues to work well. Lastly, make sure your windshield wipers are good to go for the upcoming winter season. I might add windshield wiper fluid.
Yes.
Make sure that's all full. Ox Car Care is dedicated to providing you with an amazing auto protection plan experience that works with your budget. If you're looking for better car care, give them a call today at 800-219-1407. I was talking to a couple people around that blocked figure, whatever that is. It's happened like to a couple people around the studio.
Yeah, me too. When I've had sleep paralysis, not only the finger in the back, but also like an elephant's on my chest, which is Momoa.
No,
Mamon.
It's not.
And we were talking, yeah, we just jumped into that. Everyone's like, what are you talking about? Yeah, we were talking about like falling asleep and you get that thing over you that pushes you down. I've never had it. Have you?
No, I'm just really sleepy and lazy. I don't want to get out of bed. Now I know what to call it.
No.
Mamon. Yeah. Mamon means monster in Italian, by the way.
But I like
clear that
better.
up.
That's way
okay. Ciao.